Thank you very much for the opportunity. I trust you can see my screen and everything is going well. Yes, it's been a lovely journey thus far with the SICBW and also getting to know you, Susie. And starting out is that in terms of acting into abundance, I absolutely believe that through the transitions in life, we actually have all these seeds of opportunity, and each transition actually gives us this opportunity to grow and thrive and succeed. Hence, my workshop that I call Acting to the Action Method, where you devise a strategy to take your dreams and to take your visions and to actually incrementally act on those dreams and visions. I don't know whether you've often sat back and would say, oh my goodness, I always wanted to do this. Or if you were like me, I have this whole heap of notes. Okay, this pile of notes. Sorry, I'm Afrikaans. You would learn that very quickly. But I've got this pile of notes, and I go like, and I say, oh my goodness, this is a very old note, and it's still valid today, and I haven't done anything about it. So with my background in project management, I actually use that to say, how can I, by having these smaller steps, how can I actually incrementally achieve my dreams? Okay, so welcome everyone, and I'm going to take you through this process that I personally went through, and I'm still working on it because it is a work in progress and it will remain like that. So now, we've all done the groundwork. We've done the dream boards. We've got the vision boards. Susie, you've had wonderful, wonderful sessions, and you've got wonderful business people within this audience who actually have these approaches, and we've got our strategies, we've got our missions, we want to plan, we're ready, we want to go, and then we find ourselves 3 weeks later, 3 months later, possibly not even acting on anything of it, or maybe just some of it, but definitely not on track. Okay, so it is often difficult to translate our plans into meaningful actions. And if you agree, put it into the chat, give a shout out, and just maybe in the chat, while I've just directed you to the chat, what is the challenge that we have here? Why does action feel so hard? I'm going to give you a minute or so. What are the things that are keeping us from acting on our visions and on our dreams? What's the struggle? What's the gap between the goals and the action we need to take? What are the common things? Maybe you're not the one that's stuck, but I promise you, I often get stuck for many reasons. And it's not because I don't want to. I love my dreams. I like my visions. I would love to achieve them. Maybe Susie, you can call out there from the chat because I don't have it in front of me. What, you unmute?
Sorry. Procrastination and comfort zones. I love that.
Yes.
Life happens. That's me too. Too much info and experience, a need to focus on one or two things. That's one of my absolute best, is that many people know too much and they try and do too much instead of coming back, reverse engineering and starting again. I know so many people I coach know everything and want to do everything in a day.
Yeah.
Fear of failing, that's a big one. Distraction and too wide an interest. I love that one too. Lack of finances. That's an interesting one, Renee.
Yeah. And we believe
trying to do too much. Talk about lack of finances.
But if we look in terms of also our lack of finances, we quite often, I think it is the perception that we have a lack of finance. And it's a belief that we're not going to have enough finances to follow our dreams. But I've often sat down in my coaching as well. And I would actually sit with the person and say, but what do you need to do first before you get to the point that you don't have finance? And there's often a lot of things that we can do. by just maybe even tapping into our network of people that we know who might be quite willing to barter with you, or then just to share with you and just to get you to the next step. And that's what I often would say. Don't stop by just having an idea. It's often a perception that actually just stop us in our tracks.
So don't take this personally, but even in the training of the irresistible offer I did yesterday, lack of finance, or I can't afford this, or not right now, is an excuse for something else. Yeah. And often you need to unpack that, because actually, like Renee has just said, a lot of stuff is free, gifted, available through collaboration, and finance is not necessary. So perhaps it's a debilitating belief that you need to break free from. So forgive me for interrupting, Renee. Please carry on.
It's 100%. And I just wanted something I read last week that I want to share. What is an excuse? It's a skin of a reason stuffed with a lie.
Oh, I love that.
So I thought that was brilliant. It's a skin of a lie, a skin of a reason stuffed with a lie. So on that note, yes, there are all those things that we mentioned, but even our health could stall us in doing the things we want to do. Stress and frustration and insufficient resources. So let's go on this journey. And what I want to talk to you about before I go into my action method is there are hidden forces that are shaping our success. Our goals don't fail because a lack of ambition. They often fail because of our habits and our frustrations that are working against us. Even maybe we have got a frustration with our finances. We are stressed about our finances, and then we find that they are actually working against us. So the first thing that I actually do within my approach, and what I tended to, was to first realize that I have the power to create a happier and a more fulfilling life. It doesn't matter where I am. I do have that power. And the first thing is that I need to craft a life strategy that aligns with my habits. I also need to understand the stresses, the frustrations, and attend to those. And the other thing is that, which I'm guilty of, to reduce the complexity of what I'm trying to do. I really make it too complex and really simplify it and celebrate the successes. And then we get to the emotional side. Then we can attend to emotions and also attend to your spirit. But although spirituality and being emotional, I would say sound, it's something that should be in place, and you have to attend to. It's not necessarily point 4 or step 4. It's something that is actually the foundation. I absolutely believe that. So once you're looking at that, so let's start at that first point, crafting a life strategy that aligns with your habits. And here I use a tool from Shadowmatch, which does your habits profiling. And we don't look at habits in terms of eating, sleeping, and exercising. We're looking at the good habits, which would help you to deal with situations within your life. And the kind of habits, and I'm just going to mention a few, is the propensity to own and the propensity to hand off. Quite often we own too many things, and that's why we don't get to doing. Some other things would be that, a team inclination versus an individual inclination. I'm going to give an example. One of the founders of Shadowmatch, she gave this example. She's got a very strong individual inclination. She's got a goal to actually run the Comrades. But now how is she going to train? What are actions going to be? People would say, no, but you need to practice with a team, join with a club, in the mornings, join, a team and run with them. But because of her individual inclination habit, she quickly is going to get upset or be very annoyed with people not showing up, or they're late, or they're not going to run this morning, or whatever. Together with her routine habit, she's the type of person that will run daily, but not necessarily 6 o'clock every morning. So if she would opt for a training program to join a team, to join a club and run 6 o'clock every morning, she is not going to be successful. So she changed her approach. She did join a club. She mostly trained on her own. She mostly did not train at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she did run the comrades. So that is how important it is to really understand your habits, so that when you decide your action plan, that you devise an action plan that fits your habits. We must remember that our habits are repeated behavior patterns, and they are ingrained into our minds, ingrained into our brains. That they like, the railways, they train spore. They kind of like often on automatic. So that is one of the things quite important when you devise your action plan. Then the other thing I want to mention, I want us to delve in a bit, is what's the role of stress? What's the biggest frustration keeping you from taking action right now? I want you to quickly in the chat engage and think about the frustrations or the stresses in your life that's keeping you from taking action. And maybe the finances is actually the first one that you might put down. It could be finances, it could be a relationship within your life, it could be anything you're stressing about, it could be your health. So what I'm trying to say is that we've got our visions and we've got our dreams, but then there are certain realities which we might be aware of, acutely aware of, like, for example, maybe ill health, or then things like our habits, which are brain patterns that is actually stopping us from moving forward and achieving our dreams. And it's important to understand it and know it. Susie, what's in the chat? But just unmute again. You must unmute. There we are, Susie. Thanks.
Health and balance, finances, settling in a new environment, finances and lack of business knowledge. I've only been in NGO circles. That's a good one. Time management. I find that a lack of quality sleep prevents me from being realistic. Oh, Adele, I've got such a wonderful solution for you. We'll talk about that just now. How does that help, Renee?
It helps. It's all kinds of stresses. So in terms of another tool that we then use to work through this frustration and the stresses, because that really drains our energy to take action. And yes, a number of others that I actually looked at, like negative self-talk, lower levels of persistence, a challenge to focus, procrastination, all those kind of things. Okay, so there's a number of them, but I just want to draw your attention to the impossible, the image. Impossible, we can be impossible, but if you just cut through that word, it actually reads impossible. So understanding your stresses and your habits, impossible in doing. Okay, so another tool that I use in this approach is what we call the stress mapper. Now, the stress mapper, it's going to take you about 10, 15 minutes, and it's going to ask you between 10 and 12 questions, and will map your stresses and categorize in terms of your work, your home, relationships, your operations, your body, your safety, and financial. And that report would also give you ideas as to, or some clues as to what you can do to actually attend to those specific stresses. It will give red flags. So even if, for example, in this example that I have on a screen, where safety is orange, which is basically lower stress, it still has a red flag. So it will point it out for you. So once we understand our habits, and we also understand the stress factors within our lives, we can take more control to manage them and include them in our action steps so that we can reduce the frustration and gain momentum with the actions we need to take to achieve our goals. So taking it on. So the next thing then, and yeah, I'm so guilty, and this is where I really got, Renee, you better do something. That's that pile of notes and rewriting the checklist. And you've got it on a whiteboard and you've got it everywhere. And still yet, when you've got time, you don't know what the priority is. What should you be doing first? And normally the things that shouts the loudest, that's the one you would attend to. But what I've said to myself, I need to reduce the complexity, but I also need to celebrate small successes. Because the one thing about changing a habit is, first of all, it is sticky. It's not going to change easily. But when you've got small successes, your habit starts shifting. That is very, very interesting. Small successes changes habits. That's why if you want to lose weight, don't go on this, make big differences in your diet. Start with something small. Be successful, move on to the next, move on to the next. And before you would notice it, you would have lost weight and you would have changed your diet. Okay. So we turn big goals into small, clear actions, but very important, tangible results. You must be able to touch it, talk about it. These airy-fairy results doesn't work. Tangible results, so we can have some celebrations. You need to focus on progress, not perfection. Start and keep moving. And then track daily. If you can't do it daily, at least do it every second or third day, but track regularly, rather get in the habit of tracking daily. Adjust as needed, and then celebrate your wins. And I've already said a lot about that. So how are we going to do it? Now, I'm using a method which has been proven in business. It's the Kanban method, Kanban, together with Agile. And I combined the two methods and to actually devise something which I could use personally, and that is exactly what I'm training. So the first thing that you do is you create an ideas list. Now I'm going to show you a tool just now, which is called Trello, which is just so easy to learn. But you can do this on a whiteboard. You can do it against the wall, against your mirror, doesn't matter. But you create a list, which is your ideas list, and you dump everything in there. So that's your holding space for all the things you would want to do across all the goals. And it could also contain the day-to-day things if you still need to remember it, maybe a birthday coming up or something like that. The second thing you then do is that once you've got everything on this list, then on a weekly basis, you're going to have another list. And in that list, you're going to move from your ideas, the tasks that you think you can achieve this week. Typically, maybe a Sunday evening, a Monday morning, but you can choose any time. It can be a Friday morning as well and planning for the next week. But make it the same day every week. And then you drag and drop, and this is literally on a tool. You drag and drop what you think you will be able to do this week. Remember, at the beginning of a week, we kind of like have an idea what our week is going to look like. And hopefully you have a diary. So you know more or less where can you fit certain things in and where you can do it, and even block out slots within your diary to do it. Okay. So from this ideas list, we move it into the to-do this week. So that's your plan. Then you create lists to track your progress. And you basically will be creating a doing, a waiting, and done. So as soon as you start working on it, you move it to doing. If you're waiting for somebody to come back to you, you move it to a waiting. If you're done, you're done. That's by lekker. Okay. You can even have it done for this week, depending if you've got a checklist. And I'll show you what you can do with that. So if now you've got various lists, at the end of the week, by tracking daily, you would actually go and you would repeat this. So now you would, at the end of the week, you would go and check. And if I just can go one back, you would go and check and would say, okay, fine. Now I'm on a new week. What are the things I was waiting? Do I need to move back maybe to ideas because this is going to take very long? What I've been doing, I can't do this week, so I move it back to my ideas list, or maybe move it back to do this week, and then move from your ideas list again onto to do this week. So it's an iterative process on a weekly basis that you are checking where your tasks are, and you're moving them between these lists until they land on done. So it's very important to keep your tasks small and manageable. Okay, so yeah, if I mentioned that, now the main thing is that you're going to keep on making the decision: can I do it this week, or am I going to move it back to my ideas? And then I'll do it in 2 weeks' time. Sometimes there are things you would only be able, if you miss this week, you miss the week, the window of opportunity to do it. So you have to move it maybe 2-3 weeks later. Sorry. Okay. So, and basically what I advocate is that, first of all, keep it simple. Focus on creating the habit first. Do your planning weekly, do the tracking daily, and finish tasks or get to those tangible results. Okay. Once you've got that down, you can actually refine the system. Okay. So I don't know whether there are any questions, but I want to quickly go into Trello and show you how easy it is to do it. Are we fine, Susie?
I would love you to do that, because I was about to say, can you provide a worksheet? We'd love to see.
You can. So let me I just want to get myself to stop this sharing. Oh no, wait, come back. I want to share my other screen. So I mentioned to you that I use a tool with the name Trello. So you can just Google for Trello in your, get it in your app store and download it on your mobile, or then also on your desktop. Why I'm saying also on your desktop or on your laptop is because when you do the planning, I find the bigger screen makes it easier to plan. But on a daily basis, you can sit on your mobile, your phone, maybe having your cup of coffee or whatever, or your glass of wine, and you quickly just move your tasks between the lists on your phone. And it updates immediately. It's synchronized, and it updates immediately. Secondly, I find Trello very easy to get to know it if you're not familiar with any of these tools. Some of the tools other tools that got similar functionality is called Monday.com and also ClickUp. But I found Trello is for what I want to advocate, and starting small and rather get it right than being overwhelmed again. I like Trello, and it's a free version. And I'm working, but I'm going to show you, it's all on the free version of Trello. Okay, so when you open up Trello, you would be creating a workspace for yourself. So you would start a workspace, and I've basically, you would get a new one. So, and we create what we call a Trello board. So you would have a space in mind. Let me just move this so I can see it. No, you can't see it here now, but you basically would have a space like this where it says create a new board. And you can create, I think, 9 boards in the free version. But by the time you've got 9 boards, please, I think then you have to archive and start all over again. But that's fine. There's different ways you can use it. So once you've created a board, there is a background. One can change that, but I'm not going to go into changing it. You will be creating the lists. Now, I've already created a list which is called ideas, but then you will add another list. So it's very simple. You click on add a list and you will give it a name, and I will say to do this week. Okay, and I add the list. And I add another list, which is the one which is doing, and click, and you can do all of this on your phone. This is the one awaiting, and we've got another one. Let me just move this out of the way, and we can say done. Okay. So once you've got your list, they will be sitting there, and you can also drag and drop. Oh, where's my done? Oh, I didn't say add list. There we are. Okay. So once you've got your list, you can even change the sequence by dragging and dropping the list. So all is drag and drop, quite easily to do. Now you add your cards. And for example, you can have a card and you could say, I need to plan my December holiday. You can put anything in here. And you say add a cart. Another one would be formalize, yeah, let me rather use this, compile my social media strategy. Okay. The other one can be create short course. And you can continue and you just keep on adding your tasks. Okay. Now, just to show you some of the other functionality. So once I've created a card, there's some of the things that you can specify on it, and I'm quickly going to show you. So I'm going to click create short course. And it opens up a dialog box where you can specify more information about this task. Apart from giving it a description as to what the course is that you want to create. Okay, so I would say it is a short course. It is the action method, and maybe a few things, and consists of 7 steps to get it done. Okay, and when you save it, it will keep it there. Another thing you can do with on specify here is that you could also add a checklist, because now creating the short course consists of a number of activities you need to do. Okay. Now you could either have opted creating separate cards for the checklist items and categorize it, and I'll show you how you can do that, or you can create a checklist. So if I would opt for a checklist, I'll click there on the right-hand side. There's a button that says checklist, and I can just say short course checklist, which you can use later on in another card, so you don't have to retype it. And then you can add in items. So one of the first things is to actually define the outline. I think, Susie, you can do this one better, but now I can start putting it all in. So I define the outline. I gather my content. Okay. I would actually get the images or the image library together. Okay. I would plan the chapters and well, that's actually the outline, etc., etc. But you get the idea, and you can add these on the checklist. Once you've done something, you could just tick it and it will show that it's been done. So just want to mention that quickly. What is also quite nice, apart from having a checklist, when you take action on a task, because I tend to forget, even if this is my own list and my own actions, I tend to forget what I did last. So I would always in activities say, maybe, let's say I spoke to Susie to coach me, and I'm waiting, let's say, awaiting a proposal. And that's what you can do. So these are just some of the things that are just available. Another thing is that you could label it. So I could actually have labels for my various objectives, and I could tag my cards. So, and that's how I could have my task separate cards. Let me just get the terminology right. Let me quickly, I think maybe some of you've lost me. I'm just going to click here again. This is my work, my board. This is a list. Okay, just having the list running here, ideas to do this week awaiting. This is a card, plan December holiday, complete my SM strategy, create a short course. Within the create a short course, I can have a checklist, but I can also have my checklists being cards. And it's quite easy. You could have started out as a checklist, and you can say convert to card. But then I would advise you then, and I'm coming back to labels, here's my labels, and then I would like to actually color code my cards. So it belongs to my objective 1, or it belongs to, let's say, this is my holiday. Let me edit this. I'm on the action, so this is grow my business. That's where I want to do, and I call it, and I can make it purple. So just save it. And I can have another one, which I could call, no, I don't want to tick it. Just say holiday. And I can assign these labels. And you see, as soon as I selected the label, it will also appear here on my card. And when I close this, I would actually have it here as well. And when you just click on that color and you've forgotten what purple is for, you could just click on it. It will show Grow My Business. And all of this is just customizable on the fly. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep it to there too, because I think of time limits, Susie, but this gives you an idea as to how you would create your board. Now, on that Monday morning, it's as simple as this. This week, I'm going to compile my shadow match strategy, my social media strategy. So it's literally a drag and drop. And I'm going to quickly show you, just to show you what my personal one looks like, so you can get an idea. This is my personal one. And from having my ideas, and when I started out, and I just, that pile of notes that I had more than 99 just ideas, and I started working them down. And now you move it across, and here's my done already for the week. By the end of the week, I will archive my done list, and then I would actually go back and I would start again and change it to do this week, and I would drag and drop every morning. I can say, okay, fine, just want to mention on a daily basis, I can go to my doing list and go, can I work on it this today? Can I work on the monthly bills? Oh, yes, it's still monthly bills outstanding, although it's already the 6th. Oh, yeah. Or then awaiting feedback, follow up, and people will be very surprised as, how do you remember to follow up? Because you've got them on an awaiting list. And that is how I just want to conclude on the Trello side and finish off. I'm nearly done. If you just give me a sec so that I can share my other screen again. Okay, so getting back, so keep it simple. Focus on the habit first. And then you can start to refine the system and want to assign it to other people and deadline dates. And on a checklist, you can have deadline dates. There are many other things that you really can do, different views and all those kind of things. So to summarize, to act into abundance and to grow and thrive and succeed, my approach is to understand your habits and your frustrations that influence your goal achievement. Then the next thing is, because of our vision boards, we are visually inclined. Use a visual and flexible system for action planning. Whether you use Trello or you want to do it against your mirror with sticky notes, use the system. Okay, break down your goals into bite-sized incremental chunks of work, and then cultivate the habit of consistently taking action and being focused on your goals on a daily basis. And just want to then share with you in terms of the tools that I'm using and the offer that I have. So I advocate getting a good understanding of your habits and getting your Shadow Match Habits Profile report. With a personal online feedback session of 30 minutes, I offer it for, not an offer, that's not my offer, that's my normal price, is 605 Rand, inclusive of that. The Stress Mapper report, with a personal online feedback session, is 585. Then getting into the visual planning and learning this particular system, I offer 2 one-hour group online sessions to assist attendees in creating the cards, setting up their boards, asking questions, getting to know it and getting very, very familiar. And because it's a group session, it's 1,000 Rand for 2 group sessions, and also a 60-minute personal online session for 750 Rand, where I assist you in your understanding and breaking down your goals into bite-sized incremental chunks of work, getting to, say, devising your system the way you work and you understand it. Trello is for free, the version that I've used, and if you start using the more advanced features, their subscription is per user. if you would share your board with somebody else. So having all of that, and you end up having a personalized, actionable system and 4 hours of coaching, 2 hours being group coaching and 2 hours being personal coaching. And that is at an investment of 2,940. But just because I'm so excited and I love teaching this, I'm sold on it myself. I've actually, from this investment of 2,940, I have an offer where I would save you 1,500 Rand until the 12th of March if you respond by then and pay, and offer it at 1,440. And that I think it's lots of value, because in the sense of what would you pay for methods and assistance and support to actually achieve your dreams? I think you can't really put a price tag on it. And so I'll leave it to that. And if you are interested, just send your details on a WhatsApp to 082-551-6035, or you can email me at renee@reneevosloo.co.za. And thank you, Susie. So now we can open up for questions.
Thank you, everybody.